Well, President Trump had a address to the nation the other night, Thursday night or Friday night, I can't remember which one. And of course, what he talked about was very important. But the mainstream media never aired his address. They stayed right away from him. Oh, on some of their platforms, they either spent time just playing clips of it, cherry-picked clips if they wanted, or it was more their panel sitting around and debating what he said and trying to basically discredit everything he said and call him a liar and all this other stuff. All to be expected. This is mainstream media. And this is something that I've talked about, I think, in other videos. But the mainstream media, ABC, NBC, CBS, MPBN, all of these stations, CNN, all of them are so left slanted that they're never going to acknowledge that Donald Trump has done something right or done something good. They're just never going to acknowledge it. I can tell you right now, if I'm going to create this scenario, let's imagine President Trump is riding along in his limousine there, the Beast they call it, and there's this little old woman trying to walk across the road, and he sees that she's trying to get across the road, but he wants to stop and help her. So he tells his driver, pull over and stop here for a minute. Trump gets out and says to the little old lady, may I help you walk across the road? I can see you're having a little difficulty. And he's doing this just out of the kindness of his heart. So he gets out and he helps her across the road. Once she's across the road, he comes back into his car, gets into it, and off he goes. And of course, the media is going to be right there. And here he is doing something, helping a little old lady. There is absolutely nothing wrong with helping a little old lady or a little old man, whoever it is, doesn't matter. The media would come out before the day's over with headlines like, well, there was more to this than the eye. This was just an optic. This was, look at how people had to slam on their brakes because he got out and tried to act like he was helping this woman. You see what I'm saying? Even if he did something that nice and that good, the media would make it bad. I mean, he cannot win. He cannot win. All this man ever can be in the media is basically the devil himself. And the media has been like this for how long now? Really, I mean, if you stop and think about it, I've read that back when Abraham Lincoln became president, and his the one thing that I think he got elected on was he was going to do what he could to stop slavery. And that was going against everything that the left-wingers didn't want. They wanted to keep slavery going. And if you can just go online and find the headlines that were being written about Abraham Lincoln back then, they're no different than what they say about Donald Trump today. When someone gets into that White House and they oppose left-wing policies, no matter what they are, the media will literally chew you up and spit you out like yesterday's bubble gum. They do not like right-wingers coming in there, taking that power and then using it to do good. They only want to do bad. And they've got a media that convinces you and me that what they're doing is good when it's in actuality bad. This is what the mainstream media has always been. Now, back to what President Trump did say during this address, there was a couple of things that I didn't completely understand. He mentioned that China got information, and I think I may have misunderstood it a little bit, but I can clear it up right now. They got 220 million different files on us American voters. What our name is, where we work, what our political affiliation is, and more importantly, when we go and vote. Let's say you're the type of voter that, well, you voted in the last 4 or 5 elections because one of the candidates you supported, so you went and voted for him. But then all of a sudden 2 people came along that were running for president or senate or whatever, and you didn't like either one of them, and you couldn't make up your mind who you wanted to vote for, so you wound up not voting. China has this information, and they have had it ever since, to their knowledge, they know of since 2018. And Donald Trump was saying back then in 2018 that China was interfering with elections. Now, I may have even misunderstood what President Trump was saying, but what got cleared up over the weekend for me was President Trump wasn't saying, well, China, he wasn't saying it back then, and he's not saying it now, that China came right over here somehow using technology and pulled the levers for one candidate or the other. No, that's not what they did at all. All they did was gather information, collect information, so now China is fully aware of who voted for who and when and where all these people live. Then there was other things brought up. For example, there was all kinds of ballots that were found, like here in Maine, remember? An Amazon box full of blank ballots showed up somewhere. I can't remember where, can't remember the details, doesn't matter. But these were ballots that anyone could have easily filled out for a certain candidate and then put them in one of them drop boxes, or however they do that, however they commit the fraud. It could have easily been done. Apparently they didn't, because this box was found and stopped before anything bad happened. It's these things right here that President Trump is talking about, that we really need to do everything that we possibly can. And that's why he's pushing the SAVE Act. And this is why you and I should want this SAVE Act put through. And it's simply, when someone votes, they have to produce identification to prove that they are who they say they are, to prove that they are an American citizen who's supposed to be voting. People that are here illegal are not allowed to vote. They're not allowed to. It's against the law. It's a federal crime. They cannot be doing it. And by passing this SAVE Act, that's one thing that's in there that I know of that will help rebuild the currently destroyed integrity we have in our elections now. Because how many of you watching this video right now could honestly sit there and say, well, I think that the elections are perfect in every way and there's no flaws anyway, and what flaws there are is so little that it don't make a difference? That's bull. That has got to be the most stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. If you have one little flaw somewhere, it could mean the difference between night and day. What if 2 people that are running for whatever they're running for, and the election is so close, and it's only a matter of 20 or 30 votes, and if someone has pulled a fraud somewhere and given someone 30 votes that they didn't really earn, well, they're going to win the election, but it would have been done on fraud. Now, this is an extreme case scenario I'm saying here, but who's to say it wouldn't happen? How do you know that wouldn't happen? How do I know it wouldn't happen? Odds are it wouldn't, but when you have something that the odds are, sometimes the odds are against you. So that's my whole point. And I think what President Trump said throughout the whole thing, I briefed I used Grok. I told Grok, what is everything that President Trump said? What was the points that he was making that didn't get out to the American people? And the main thing was with what he was doing in Iran, what he was doing, why he was doing it, the results of what he's doing, and about election integrity and what we got to do to protect our elections. And I think he's 100% right. And from what I've understood, like 70 or 80% of the American people agree that this idea of his in the SAVE Act is the right thing to do. So if it's got that much support, then we need to get this passed. So call your representatives and tell them that you want them to support the SAVE Act and get it passed so that it is law and we can restore our elections and the integrity to what it once was. All right, that's everything for this video here. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Definitely leave your comment. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what everybody has to say. Agreement or disagreement, I don't care. Would love to hear from you. Okay, you guys have a good Monday, July 20th, 2026. This is Arno for Politically Unfiltered. You have a great day. We be gone.